This building took 30 years to construct, but it was worth it. So, let's talk about the Palacio de Bellas Artes, or Palace of Fine Arts. Today, on Dreamed Takeoff, we'll visit this building, one of Mexico City's most distinctive landmarks. The palace is located right in front of the Latino Americana Tower, another icon of Mexico City, which, at 182 meters, was the tallest building in Latin America between 1956 and 1972, when another tower surpassed it in the same country, the Hotel de Mexico. It is also less than a 15-minute walk from the Constitution Square, better known as the Zócalo. So, if you have little time to explore the city's historic center, you can easily include it in your tour. Its impressive facade, in the Art Nouveau style with neoclassical elements, features a combination of Carrara marble from Italy, used in its 27 columns and cornice, and also Mexican marbles from the states of Mexico and Guerrero. To understand the palace is to understand its history, which reflects the history of the entire country. It began in 1897, when the government of Porfirio Diaz began to prepare modernization works for the capital to celebrate the centenary of Mexico's independence, and bought the building where the old National Theater was located. The original idea was to remodel it. So in 1900, the Mexican engineer Gonzalo Garita and the Italian architect Adamo Boari presented a project that was accepted in 1901. But then the government decided to demolish the theater and build a new one, the current Palacio de Bellas Artes, which didn't even use the same land, but it did use the same professionals. Unfortunately, Garita and Boari fought, and only the Italian architect continued the project. One of the first visual shocks I got from the palace was as soon as I entered. The outside reminds me of Paris, and the inside reminds me of New York. And it is that, although it is impressive inside and out, its exterior and interior seem like two different buildings. It was a similar experience to the one I had at the Sydney Opera House, which has a similar explanation. Different architects. The Palacio de Bellas Artes, initially designed by Boari in the Art Nouveau style, took 30 years to complete. It began in 1904, with the first stone laid in 1905 by Porfirio Diaz himself, and was supposed to be completed in 4 years. However, the steel structure, covered with concrete and marble, was very heavy and soon began to sink, which slowed down the project. To make matters worse, in 1910, the Mexican Revolution broke out, and the country was not in the mood for palaces, so it suspended its works in 1916. It then tried to resume the work intermittently, but only in 1931 did Mexico recover enough economic and social stability to resume the work. This time, with another architect at the head, the Mexican Federico Mariscal. But there was a problem. Art Nouveau was no longer in fashion, but Art Deco, more geometric and less organic than its predecessor. The same style generated works such as the Empire State and Chrysler buildings in New York, hence the similarity of its interior, which was designed by Mariscal in an Art Deco style with references to pre-Hispanic cultures. If you like this video, please support us by liking and subscribing so you don't miss our next destinations. And we continue. Beyond its impressive architecture, the palace offers the opportunity to see different works by famous Mexican muralists, such as The New Democracy by David Alfaro Siqueiros. On the second floor, you can see murals by Diego Rivera, José Clemente Orozco, Rufino Tamayo, and Jorge González Camarena, among others, which were added in the 1930s. When you visit this palace and see people enjoying this variety of works in its enclosure, you are reminded that the Palacio de Bellas Artes is not only a theater, but also a museum. In fact, this exhibition of 17 murals by 7 different artists is part of what is known as the Museum of the Palacio de Bellas Artes, which is added to the National Museum of Architecture, which is on the 3rd floor of the complex. The palace continued to have historical significance because 4 Mexican presidents took office in this building. The site has also been used to pay posthumous tribute to 65 personalities for their artistic or cultural trajectory, from José Clemente Orozco in 1949 to Silvia Pinal in 2024. In addition, it has rooms that host different temporary art exhibitions. Obviously, as successor to the National Theater, it has also been the scene of various artistic productions such as operas, recitals, and ballet performances, which have brought world-class personalities such as Maria Teresa Montoya, Maria Callas, Teresa Berganza, Luciano Pavarotti, Plácido Domingo, and Alexander Kipnis. Even the well-known Mexican singer-songwriter Juan Gabriel played in the venue, not without controversy. Descending, we can continue to admire the impressive Art Deco style of the interior of the building until we find a store typical of a museum, which, unfortunately, we did not have time to go to. After a while, we can see the ground floor where this monumental ticket office and the entrance we went up to start this whole experience are located. In 1987, UNESCO declared the Palacio de Bellas Artes a World Heritage Site. Although it has had some renovations, some more controversial than others, that have affected its original style, the site continues as a UNESCO Heritage Site. Before leaving, be sure to look at the palace model on one side, which we showed at the beginning of the video. The space is also home to the National Dance Company, the National Opera Company, the National Symphony Orchestra, and the Folkloric Ballet of Mexico, making it a true cultural hub for Mexico and Latin America. Unfortunately, the time has come to leave the Palacio de Bellas Artes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next destination here on Dreamed Takeoff.